Imagine this. You wake up in a foreign country where the language is utterly alien. The words swirl around you like smoke, shapeless, meaningless. You point to an apple, desperate to name it, but your tongue fails you. The fruit sits there, unclaimed, by language. Now ask yourself, without the word apple, does the apple still exist? Not just as an object, but as a concept in your mind. Here's what no one tells you. The world you perceive is not the world as it is. It's the world as your language allows you to see it. Consider this. The Inuit have 50+ words for snow, not because they're poetic, but because their survival depends on distinctions your brain literally cannot perceive. The Himba tribe doesn't distinguish blue from green, not because they're colorblind, but because their language groups them as one. When shown a circle of green squares with one blue, they cannot pick the odd one out. In Russian, there are separate words for light blue, goluboy, and dark blue, sinai. And studies show Russian speakers actually perceive these as fundamentally different colors, while English speakers see them as shades of the same. Your language isn't just how you describe reality, it's how you construct it. A thought experiment. Try to imagine a color that doesn't exist. Not a combination of colors. A wholly new one outside the spectrum, you know. You can't. Not because such colors are impossible, but because your language, and thus your mind, has no framework to hold them. Now realize what else are you blind to because you lack the words. The Wittgenstein warning philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein dropped a bombshell. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. He wasn't being metaphorical. Modern neuroscience confirms, when you learn new words, your brain physically rewires to perceive new patterns. Losing language, aphasia, doesn't just impair communication, it impairs thinking itself. Bilingual people literally shift personalities when switching languages. Your vocabulary isn't just a tool set. It's the architecture of your consciousness. The Orwellian twist. George Orwell saw the danger. If thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. Examples that should chill you. The Pentagon calls civilian deaths collateral damage, two words that erase Screams Corporation's term layoffs right-sizing, as if people were faulty widgets. You say, "I'm fine" when you're drowning, because your language lacks the nuance for your pain. This isn't semantics. This is psychological warfare waged through syntax. The implications are existential. How many of your choices are just pre-programmed linguistic scripts? What emotions do you literally not feel because your language has no name for them? Could expanding your vocabulary unlock new forms of consciousness? Most terrifying of all, are you the thinker of your thoughts, or just the transcriber of your mother tongue? You've spent your life believing language is your servant. What if you're its prisoner? The invisible prison of words you don't use. Language uses you. This isn't poetry, it's neuroscience. Every word you know is a neural pathway, a groove worn so deep in your brain that thoughts naturally flow into it like rainwater into a gutter. But who dug these grooves? The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, reality's hidden scaffolding linguists. Edward Sapir and Benjamin Lee Whorf revealed language determines thought, not the other way around. Grammatical structures create unconscious biases, e.g., gendered languages shape gender perception. Future-less languages, like Mandarin, make speakers better at saving money, because without future tense, the future feels closer. Your native tongue didn't just teach you how to speak, it taught you how to be human. The Nietzschean lens. Language as power. Nietzsche saw deeper. Words are but symbols for the relations of things to one another and to us. Translation: naming Kaka's control. Adam naming animals in Genesis. Silence. Freedom: what you can't articulate can't be regulated. Grammar: Kaka's fate. Passive voice: mistakes were made erases accountability. Your sentences aren't just communication. They're tiny acts of tyranny over reality, the Orwellian dystopia. We inhabit modern examples of linguistic mind control, human resources, you're a mind to be depleted, social media, anti-social, anti-media, self-help. The self needing help implies it's broken. These aren't accidents, they're psychological. Operations masquerading as convenience. The Jungian shadow lexicon, Carl Jung's shadow, applies to language. Unspeakable emotions become psychological complexes. Taboo words gain occult power, why curses feel real. Untranslatable terms, like Portuguese, saudade, reveal gaps in your consciousness. What you can't name owns you. The Buddhist insight, the map is not the territory. Zen masters have long warned words are fingers pointing at the moon, not the moon itself. Attachment to labels creates suffering. This is good, this is bad. Silence is the only accurate language for truth, yet we remain trapped in the dictionary of the damned. The Chomsky exception. Noam Chomsky's universal grammar suggests all languages share deep structures, therefore all humans think similarly beneath the surface. But here's the twist. These structures themselves limit what's thinkable, like an operating system that only runs certain programs. You're not the programmer, you're the program. The fork in the road, now you see the bars of your cage. The question becomes, do you want the key? The silent war for your mind language doesn't just describe reality, it scripts your nervous system. Every word you absorb rewires your brain, altering what? You notice Russian speakers detect shades of blue faster. How you feel, Germans experience Fernweh, a longing for places unseen, while English lacks the concept. What you believe is possible. The Piraha tribe's numberless language makes advanced math inconceivable. This isn't linguistics. This is soft-coded reality engineering, cognitive distortions. When grammar gaslights, your syntax shapes your suffering. The to-be trap, I am depressed, identity, versus I feel depressed, temporary state. Studies show verb choice predicts recovery. Rates the passive voice plague. The vase broke, mystery versus I broke the vase, accountability. Corporate government abuse thrives in passive constructions, the absent-absence languages. Without no, like ancient Hebrew, force positive reframing. Modern negativity bias is literally grammatical. Your thoughts are prisoners of grammar you never consented to. The emotional vocabulary. Famine English has 1,000 words for emotions, theoretical. Average speaker uses 9 regularly, happy, sad, angry, etc. Compare German Waldeinsamkeit, forest solitude bliss. Japanese Koi no Yoken, premonition of love, Inuit. Iktuarpok, anticipation that makes you check for visitors. Emotional illiteracy isn't personal failure, it's linguistic poverty. The newspeak apocalypse already here. Orwell warned of vocabulary shrinkage as mind control. Check modern casualties. They, singular, 500% increase in usage. Identity liberation, literally, now means figuratively. Reality erosion, like, fills. Syntactic gaps where precise words should be. We're not losing words, we're losing cognitive tools. The bilingual brain. Split MRI scans reveal different languages activate separate neural networks. Switching tongues changes decision-making patterns. Bilingual solving problems in L2 make more rational choices. Yourself is language-dependent software. The corporate linguistic hijack branding as brain hacking. Users not addicts from social media. Content, not art, creative work. Collateral damage, not dead children, military. When they change the words, they change what you tolerate. This isn't academic, it's existential warfare. Your language is either inherited prison, a hacked superpower. The choice begins with recognizing you've been speaking in code your whole life, rewriting your mental operating system. You've lived under linguistic dictatorship long enough. Now comes the jailbreak. Not by abandoning language, but by weaponizing its hidden mechanisms against itself. Step 1. The vocabulary revolution action. Hunt untranslatables, adopt words like Tosca, Russian, spiritual anguish without cause, Mokita, Kivila, truth everyone knows but no one speaks, Goya, Urdu, the suspension of disbelief in storytelling studies. Show learning emotion words physically expands emotional perception. Murder abstraction. Replace I'm stressed with specific sensations. My jaw is a rusted vice. There's a hornet's nest behind my sternum. Precision creates neurological exit. Routes from mental loops. Verb your nouns. I am anxious. I am experiencing anxiety. This syntactic shift reduces identification with suffering by 37%. Step 2. Grammatical time. Travel experiment, future less thinking. Try writing, journaling in present. Tense only for 72 hours. Notice how anxiety about tomorrow dissolves. Past reprocessing. Rewrite traumatic memories in third person, plus past progressive. She was walking when the accident happened. Creates psychological distance. Proven PTSD therapy. Subjunctive. Liberation practice. What-if scenarios in languages with robust subjunctive moods, Spanish, French, expands mental flexibility in decision-making. Step 3. The Taboo Lexicon Challenge, 30-day experiment, swear strategically. Research shows cursing increases. Pain tolerance by 28% boosts physical strength. By 8% creates sacred profanity for breakthrough moments. Reclaim. Banned words. Take back power from linguistic landmines. E.g. feminist, socialist. Say them aloud until they lose their terror. Invent necessary words like Tolkien, creating eucatastrophe. For sudden joyous turns, your unfelt emotions need names to exist. Step 4. The bilingual edge. If you only speak one language. Learn just enough of another to notice your native tongue's blind spots. Focus on concepts that don't translate, e.g. German, Weltschmerz. If bilingual, switch languages when making emotional. Decisions, L2, tasks more rational. Processing trauma, L1, tasks more cathartic. Step 5. The silence. Protocol daily practice. 60 minutes of wordless awareness. Not meditation. Pure sensory immersion. Trains the brain to experience beyond language. Pre-verbal journaling. Draw to symbolize emotions before naming them. Accesses sublinguistic wisdom, etymology. Excavation, trace keywords, e.g. anxiety, Latin anger to choke, reveals how history poisoned your perceptions. The liberation moment, when you realize every word is someone else's thought. Fossil syntax is frozen. Ideology. Silence is the only mother tongue. That's when you become linguistically sovereign. The wordless epiphany. After all this linguistic deconstruction, here's the paradox that will either terrify or liberate you. The most profound truths exist beyond language. Your entire life has been a translation of the untranslatable, a desperate attempt to cram the infinite complexity of raw experience into the crude filing system of words. The neuroscience of the unsayable brain scans reveal pre-verbal infants experience emotions in pure, undivided waves. Meditators in deep states show near-complete language center shutdown. Creators in flow report thoughts moving faster than words. This suggests language is a secondary overlay on consciousness. Your richest experiences resist verbalization. Self you think you know is a narrated approximation, the Wittgensteinian vol Ludwig Wittgenstein's final realization. Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. But we've missed the corollary. What can be spoken is always smaller than what exists. Every word is a betrayal of wholeness, necessary for communication, but fatal to pure knowing. The Taoist solution. Ancient Chinese sages understood the Tao. That can be named is not the eternal Tao. Calligraphy was their bridge, meaning conveyed through brushstrokes energy, not just characters. Poetic ambiguity, not scientific precision, was their truth-telling mode, their secret. Using language to point beyond language, the quantum linguistics breakthrough. Modern physics echoes this. Quantum phenomena defy classical description. The observer effect means naming changes the named dark matter. The 95% of reality, we have no words. For your language isn't just limited, it's causally reductive, collapsing experiential superpositions into crude binaries. The silent sanctuary. Here's how to access what words can't touch. Pre-dawn, wordlessness, wake before language fully activates. Spend 20 minutes just noticing before naming, art before grammar express. Feelings through movement, sound, color first. Let words emerge later, if at all. Conceptual fasting, 1 day monthly. No reading, no speaking. Reset your pre-verbal awareness. The ultimate freedom, when you finally grasp, words are tools, not truths. Silence is the native tongue of being. All great art, science, and love stammer at the edge of the sayable. That's when you become linguistically homeless in the best way, free to dwell in the wordless wonder where all language begins and ends. The map is not the territory. The menu is not the meal. The word is not the world. Now, be still and know.